went through.
I hope that this is normal because we had a countdown go off that I've never seen.
Yeah,
So,
so we'll see, kind of see when it like actually picks up, and maybe
right.
it's one of those things to where now when they do the
Oh,
countdown,
yeah. Wouldn't
you'll
that be
actually
nice?
start where you're supposed to. But welcome
It's
back, everybody. Happy Thursday,
Happy Thursday.
and this is our closeout show for the
Yes.
week, and we're gonna take questions from you all out there.
All
Um,
zero of
all
you.
zero of you, and maybe some people will come in,
Yeah.
and we're going to share our sales of the day. We have 9 items going out. I pulled 7 of them. 2 of them came in while we were getting set up, so
Are you saying I take a long time getting ready?
maybe,
I think that's a yes.
just maybe. But before we get started, my name is Aaron,
I'm Amber.
and we are full-time resellers. We go live Monday through Thursday to talk shop. And before anybody gets in here, because I know it's generally going to take some time before anybody jumps on, um, this week we have a lot of cold coming in,
Yeah. Like
and
winter.
yes, cold winter.
Storm.
We actually have snow, which in South Carolina
We might get 3 inches.
we might get snow, which is very very unusual. We maybe get snow maybe once every 8 years,
No,
six
we've
four
had
to four
we
to eight
had
years.
snow the first year we were here.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
like it
yeah. It's
hypothetically, it's supposed to be
in
like
our area. It's very rare and very exciting.
when I grew up, we had snow twice,
Yeah.
like when I was a kid. So like it's just very infrequent that we're supposed to get snow, and
Yes.
people don't know how to drive or act when the snow is on the ground here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So it is very important that if you
Let's just say when it rains, we have problems with the roads.
um, so in those circumstances, like you want to be prepared for those situations and not have to go anywhere.
True.
So there is not going to be a garage sale that could run this weekend that if we wake up and there's snow on the ground that we're going to. Like it's not happening. It's not worth it.
Mm-mm.
If I can't walk to it, I won't be going.
Yeah.
Which the chances of me being able to walk to a garage sale are very very low. So with that being said, it's just looking very not likely to be anything
Sourcing
where we're going to
weekend.
be
Yeah.
sourcing for the weekend. So we'll just have to do with what we got, which, fortunately, I've been doing a lot of cleaning up and finding some stuff to get listed. So it's not that we haven't been able to do nothing.
Right.
So,
It's a good time for cleaning,
yeah.
which
So,
I love.
well, so we'll jump into these sales. And hey, this might be a short show if people don't come in. And
We've
that's
still got zeros of viewers.
okay. Posy
That's okay.
Pin. So we picked up a huge lot of these
That's
at
a
our
little
local Goodwill. It's like this little glass
base brooch.
brooch. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that sold for
Really cute.
$14.95 plus shipping. We have like 4 of this version and then like
Mm-hmm.
9 of another version. This is the first one to sell, and we paid like $5 for the
For
whole
the whole
box.
box, yeah.
So this is already getting us into the profit, and then we have a ton more.
Yeah.
That'll all be pure profit. That'll be going out. I will say, those don't look fun to ship.
Our lights like.
As long as it doesn't
Oh no,
fall
it'll
down.
be fine. This will be fine because I'm gonna put it in a box that's like 8 by 6 by 4, and it's gonna be fine.
Okay, if you say
A
so.
lot of packing paper.
If you say so, I will take it.
Why are you so worried about things arriving in perfect
Yeah,
condition?
we just haven't had a
honey?
good success rate lately. Next up, we have Estee Lauder. These are 2 palette.
Hey, good morning, Eden.
Are these palette?
These are
I don't
these
know.
are Estee Lauder. They're like eyeshadows.
Okay, eyeshadows.
2 sets of these.
Pure color, yeah, expression quads. So there's 4, and each one sold for $19.99 at free shipping. But since they sold together, it says we only have to ship them once, so that's a
Yes,
huge win.
it
So
is a win.
$39.98.
And
free
I did
shipping.
not put these in bubbles, like bubble mailers.
No.
I put them in a box
Oh, you
because
do?
yes, because the powder can break if it's hit too hard. So I do just like that poppy vase thing. I'm gonna do
See,
the same
this
thing
is
with
why I
this.
don't do shipping, because I would have thrown that in a bubble.
No, yeah,
Put a
and then
thank you
you get a
note.
bunch of people like, "Why is my eyeshadow broke? It's all crumbs."
It's your fault. Next up, we have the Winans. Let My People Go LP, $8.99 plus shipping on that one. Which this is some of the like older Christian stuff. Sometimes can do okay, but it's not exceptional. There, what was the other one? The Clark sisters.
I have no idea.
That one sold
Yeah.
for pretty good money.
Right.
So you just never know with some of these LPs how mass produced were they
Right.
to where they're worth money. This is another one, Vision Quest. This is a soundtrack. I always am drawn to the soundtracks, but
Yeah.
usually they're not great. This one did sell $14.95 plus shipping. I think largely because it does have the shrink wrap still on it,
Yeah.
which adds some value. But most of them, like I keep seeing Beverly Hills Cop, and it's just
Yeah.
not good. So obviously it was mass produced and everybody bought it. The sale of the day.
Now that we have some viewers, if you have any questions for resellers, let us know in the comments. We will be answering your questions. Otherwise, we're just going to keep showing you what we got sold.
So this one is actually really cool. I'm going to take this out. So it comes with a case. So here's the case, just to show you. It is a pull cue walking stick. So this thing comes
Hand carved.
hand carved with like elephants on it.
Yeah.
And so essentially you would unscrew this part, and then inside there's another stick cue, and then unscrew this, and then you would screw the pull cue on the top. It just gets, it's a lot of like packing. I don't want to be screwing and unscrewing in here. But this is a really cool little piece to think like, and I know it's vintage. I just don't know how old this is. This could be the 80s.
Yeah.
Could be the 40s.
Yeah.
I just put vintage. I know it's vintage, so I was gonna play it safe with vintage. But this thing sold. We picked this up, and this was one of those ones where it's like an impulse buy, $5.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll take a swing at $5.
This is too cool to pass.
Too unique and too cool. And worst case scenario, I can play a joke or a prank on somebody with this. But it sold for $150 plus shipping.
Best sale of the day.
Yes, by
Said,
far.
how about them lions?
How about them lions? I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, all my gear is just turning into lions.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's all you like wearing. So that's what you get.
Yeah. But yeah, $150 for that. That was
Yeah,
pretty
that's amazing.
amazing. Granted, it did take about 6 months for it to sell, so
Look,
it wasn't
even like a little holder. Isn't that cool?
it didn't. I mean, technically, you can use the case as a walking stick.
No.
Just kidding. Kidding. Next up, we have
I kid.
Mega Man Legacy Edition disc only version for the PS3. Really fun game, $13.95 plus shipping, and they already gave us positive feedback. So
well, that's awesome. Okay, Bama said that's super cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, and that one we got from
it was like a garage
the North Carolina lawn yard sale, where actually we thought we didn't do that well, but it's like one of those things to where you don't think you did that well,
until you
then you like start to sell some stuff. You're like, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Maybe we did do okay. Because that was one where we were like, that was a bust.
Yeah. Because the way I look at it always is like, if you can sell like $150 a day, that's probably covering your day in terms of like what you need to make. So like that almost basically covered our entire day's worth of sales that we would need to put food on the table, pay the bills, and do all that stuff. So, yeah.
Here's our item that I don't enjoy shipping and wish you would stop picking up.
This is a fairy. This is a fairy I picked up recently. This one sold for $17 plus shipping. It did have a little bit of chipping on the butterfly, but I don't know why. But ever since we picked up those one fairies,
they're not the same.
I'm always drawn to fairies, so I don't know. I can't tell you why.
I don't know, but I wish you would quit.
Well, when you list stuff that's worth money and then you see something similar, it's hard not to ignore it. It's just, you can't ignore it.
Yeah. I mean, this one's better than some of the other ones that you've gotten, but
I haven't picked up any other ones that I could think of.
No, there have been some that are like Dollar Tree fairies, not the same. I just they're so hard to ship. Like the fairy that we sold, we're having all kinds of issues with, so I'm not excited about shipping that one.
Do we have a question?
All right, let's see. Eden said, since reselling, what's the biggest lesson you have learned and something you would change if you were starting all over today?
So
good question.
Biggest lesson that we've learned? I would say the biggest lesson is would probably come back to condition matters. I think a lot of times people overstate their condition, so when we go to sell something, we make sure that I would rather understate the condition, and then it also works on the like before you prep it. So like if you comp something and it's in used condition, like the value, the condition of the item is going to determine the price. So like I don't want to get into situations where I end up overpaying for items because I see that it's sold for this, but then that condition is better than what I got. Or you find stuff when we bring back
Yeah.
and there's flaws.
Oh, that's the worst.
And then it's like you just bought something
Yeah.
and then you can't even sell it.
But those are lessons that we've learned. Like,
we have learned, and it's lessened quite a bit. So over the time,
like this fairy, I would have not got it because there's chips on the butterfly.
Correct, but I didn't notice it when I bought it. So that's like a perfect example of that. And
but I've bought like a whole set of willow tree angels because I love those and I'm drawn to those. They do not sell well anymore, so don't even waste your time. But I got them home and they were all broken. They had been super glued and like,
yeah,
really have to be careful with making sure things aren't
and so
broke.
you were buying that item in the dark.
Yes.
Because it was like early on
Yes.
like a yard sale commission community
sale.
sale, and so we were there, and you can't inspect an item very well
In the dark.
in the dark.
Yeah.
And so when you come home and then you see that, you were so disappointed that you spent this money on these things. So what when we first started, we would go garage selling. We'd fill up our whole truck.
Yes.
Like literally every weekend, we were filling up our SUV. It was packed. Now, whenever we come home, it's like half full.
If that.
If that, where we're not buying nearly as much.
Yeah.
But then
there's less going to the trash.
What we noticed is by the time like Thursday would come around, and when we were determining what we were going to donate and what we were going to throw away, like there was so much stuff that we bought that is just basically going straight to the trash.
Yes.
Or straight to donation because it's stuff that's not worth something because we bought too much and we were just
broken,
really loosey-goosey, or we were just throwing because it was not even worth.
So condition matters.
Yeah, so condition really matters, and that has been a huge difference in our business. Is we very rarely are having to redonate or trash things moving forward, and it's made things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And a funny thing too is now that I'm going back through some stuff that I've kind of stocked away and stuff like that, I'm having to do that all over again because these were items that I wasn't ready to list or not list.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing how bad like some of these purchases were at the time. So
yeah.
And then what else was that part of the question? What
would
you do differently?
If you were starting all over today, get a label printer. If you are doing any kind of volume of shipping, that has been a big time saver for me because I used to print them on paper and then use the shipping packing paper to tape it on the box.
Yeah. So I think if we were starting all over again today, I think we would probably have a more stringent storage system.
Like not in our house. You mean
no,
like
no,
a
no,
shed?
No.
That's what I would do if I had to start over.
But I think what we're doing is fine, but it's very difficult for you to make any changes to a stocking situation after you have started something.
Right.
So like we kind of mangled this together after we were starting because when we first started, it was just you remember we had the ladder in our bedroom and I was just stacking stuff on the ladder and then I didn't have a storage system to say where it was.
Yes.
And so I would just go and have to go find every item every time it sold without having like a bin storage system or anything like that. So I could see a scenario where we would probably do a better job of
like
organizing.
Knowing where your items are, having like a good inventory system.
We have one, but I think it could be better. So if we restarted, I would make sure that we focused and got that right.
Yeah.
To be perfect. So that was a good question.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's see. Hope you're doing well, staying warm. Let's see. Oh yeah, I hand wrote and went to the post office for 2 years when I started. I was so scared of a printer. Duh, get one, it's well worth it. Yes, absolutely. I remember I did the same thing. I was writing on the packages, taking them to the post office, and we were shipping like DVDs and video games at the time. And in the post office, I didn't know about media mail. So all the shipping policies, I had no clue about that. And I was paying retail rate at the post office.
Didn't we? I don't even realize.
Yeah, so we paid retail rate shipping labels, and he had to like type in and print out a sticker for every package that I did.
Now, granted, at this time it was onesie twosies.
Yeah, we didn't have quite the volume.
You know, the volume was very low.
He was like, "Are you sure this is not educational?" I said, "Nope, it's not." It's like, this is a DVD. This is a book. It can go media mail.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I will say this: the shipping aspect of the job, it has a really steep learning curve.
Yeah.
and there are ways to save money in the shipping department that I think a lot of people just simply don't know about. And it takes some time and knowledge to get there.
So that's a tip. I use Pirate Ship is the website that I use to order my labels, and I link our eBay store to it, so it will automatically pull all the things I have to ship, and the rates are either equal to eBay rates or a little bit better sometimes, but it will put all the tracking numbers and everything back to eBay. So, and it's cheaper and it's easier to use for me because I print one out at a time as I'm shipping, because we don't have a consistent, like, we're doing only media. It's all sizes and shapes. So I like doing them one at a time.
And then with that, you also create a shipping label, which makes it, when we go to post, we actually physically drop stuff off at the post office. We create a scan sheet. So when we get there, we'll have bins of items that we can't just stuff them all in the box or anything, because you have varying sizes and stuff like that. But then we just go up there, we put all the boxes on the counter.
Yeah.
They know us by now because we come in every day.
Yeah.
We put all the boxes on the counter, and then we hand them a sheet. They scan the sheet, and
they're all logged in. So it helps the post office workers as well when they see like all these packages and envelopes coming in. They only have to scan the one thing, and they're all checked in.
To a point to where they had somebody else that was coming
They've asked me twice to kind of get something written up for other sellers that are newer that didn't know about this. One was selling on Amazon, one was on eBay. So I'd print out this whole like how to do it and like watch this video.
Yep.
So it's been helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah, but to save their time on their side too. So
let's see. I went from selling bicycle parts on private site, and that's how it worked. eBay was a whole different world. As the first person on eBay I watched, he's a Canadian junker that stripped stuff and sold parts on eBay. Then I found all the other resellers, got hooked.
Yeah, there's a lot of information and great people to follow and watch.
That's how we learned.
Yes, it is, and that's when we realized like, okay, we can do not just video games.
Right.
And then, honestly, so we've been going to garage sales for like
our
probably
whole marriage.
12 years. Seriously, like we're married for 15.
I mean, we bought stuff personal wise.
We bought stuff personal early on, and then it kind of expanded to where we were doing video games. But we probably only did video games for like 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, it was wild.
Like only video games, and then maybe every once in a while it'd be like, oh, this would be cool for the house, or this would be cool for this. So. Like we would buy for video games just to resell, and there was a lot more video games at that point to resell, but it was by no means like, we're making a full-time livable income now. At that point, it was like maybe making $1,000 to $2,000 a year. Like that was it, and it was more of just a hobby, which I kind of missed the idea of it being a hobby, which was cool, but. We always kind of venture to think like if we could go back.
Yeah, see how much we missed.
Yeah, like now stuff that we get excited for, and then we're just like, no, you got any video games? No, okay,
bye.
There it is. There's that. There's this, and we just ignored it. And then we started watching Harry Tornadoes, where I started, and I'm like, wait, you can sell that? Oh, and then it was like golf clubs. And then I called my buddy and I started asking questions about golf clubs, and then I started getting some knowledge. Then you buy a couple, you sell some, you don't sell some because they're just not good enough. And then you're like, okay. Now I gotta like fine tune a little bit, and then
you're slowly we branch categories.
Yep. And I think it's important too. You want to be adjacent, and you want to be in categories that are of interest to you.
Right.
So I like video games, so it's easy to go to VHS, DVDs, Blu-rays, and all those kind of things because it's very similar, and I already have that process down on the selling side.
Right.
And then golf. Then it's easy to venture to baseball bats, then to baseball gloves, to
cleats, and
to cleats, and everybody can sell shoes. Shoes, I think, are like the easiest entry point. Just because of the supply of them.
Right.
Like everywhere I could say, I know what you can sell. You can sell shoes because there's going to be shoes there. Everybody wears shoes. And there's obviously a huge market for it. But also I think people can make huge mistakes there. Like how much wear are you willing to sell?
Right.
Like I got to a point where I was looking at a pair the other day and I'm like,
why'd we buy this?
No, well, I mean, I'm in the store and I'm like,
okay.
I want to. It's a $40 pair.
Yeah.
But I'm like, based on this flaw, like.
And we've seen fakes. We've learned what fakes look like.
Yep, you learn that for sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, Rally Roots is good for sure.
Yep, always learning something new.
We are in South Carolina, if that's the question you were asking. Yeah, J-Ride Flips is pretty good. I like how thorough and like the business side of the way he approaches things is really good. And Bama J Bird, he usually is on here as well. He's got good content out there as well.
Flippy.
Flippy. Bama J Bird would actually be proud. I found some CDs just the other day in our local thrift store. Some rock. Some like interesting ones too. Like one was worth like $40 to $50.
That's pretty good
for a CD.
Yeah, that's
you
great.
pay $1 for it. That's really good. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, we've been on this show.
The other thing that we like is My Reseller Genie. We have no affiliations with anybody, but these are just things that we use. My Reseller Genie. I used to enter the name of the item we bought, how much we paid for it, what it sold for, and had the eBay fees calculating out of it on an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah, so I guess that would be another thing,
yeah.
is starting with My Reseller Genie from the beginning and not having to try to create a spreadsheet
Figuring
and all that
out
other
what
stuff.
your taxes. But it's hard too, if you don't know, if you're just starting, if it's even going to be a thing that's a business or just a hobby. So, yeah.
Yeah, we run into Flippy quite often. And we chat with him every so often, so...
yeah, we were battling it out in Florida.
he's pleasant competition.
Yes.
We don't have too many of those down in these parts. Another item we sold, this is an item I didn't pick up. It's a lot of...
3 blank cassette
three
tapes.
Sony blank cassette tapes, and these are for handy cams. So they're a little bit more desirable. That lot of 3 sold for $19.95 plus shipping.
That's pretty good.
And then the last sale is a
Carcassonne big box 3 board game.
So it's a 3 board game with extensions and all these other things. And I bought this at our local thrift store for, I think we actually priced it up for $12. Sold for $50 plus shipping, so we're still doing well. It was missing one piece, otherwise it would have been a $75 board game or so.
Yeah, still good for a board game.
So yeah, I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, so it's interesting. It's an interesting job.
Would you do it over? Would you do it again?
I mean, we didn't have a choice. I was laid off, so I guess so. Our plan was I was probably going to quit
3
my
or 4
job
months.
Probably 2 months.
Yeah.
1 to 2 months.
It was April.
And so we were fully planning on that happening. Would I have stayed longer? Maybe, just because of the
amount of money you were getting.
Yes, it's hard to pass up the amount of money knowing that you're just going to continue to bank more money.
And that just helped build our savings, really.
Yeah, it did. And then a nice little...
oh, yeah, severance package.
Severance package. Oh, darn.
Yes.
I guess I will just take this and go. That'll work just fine. So, yeah. What else? Anything else out there from anybody? Those are all the items. So 9 items, the best of which was the pull queue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Post office is closed.
Post office is closed today, so we will still pack the items.
Right.
We will just drop them off Friday.
Yeah.
The snow's not supposed to come until afternoon, so my hope is that we can get all of our driving and anything that we need to get done before noon.
Yeah, and then bargain hunt in the morning.
Bargain hunt in the morning. For some reason, they're actually going back-to-back weeks here.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and I'm glad to see that. I'd rather build my... Yep. Not the bosses. Yes, I'm with you on that. So that's the catch-22. Do you want a boss?
Yeah.
And build the bank account, or no boss and not build the bank account?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah, because we're kind of staying even. We need to start.
Yeah. I will say that's another thing is whenever we make trips, we might try to maximize our trips as best as we can. So we'll, if we have to go to Costco, we're going to hit a couple thrift stores on the way, so then the stuff doesn't get warm on the way back.
Right.
And then vice versa and stuff like that.
Yes.
So make the most out of your trips, especially when We're kind of on an island.
Yeah, we're like in the middle of nowhere with you have to drive to go find stores, so
like it's a town. Sales. We have a town, but like there's just
not a lot here.
There's not a lot here, so whenever you leave,
we're actually
it's
in a poor town.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty correct.
So
poor table.
Yes.
Well, Bama, now's the time to clean the table off, bud. Like, what else you got going on down there?
You're gonna get snowed in.
Yeah, I mean, you have no choice.
Texas is looking at getting crazy amount of snow.
Yes, it is. It is a poor little town. We are in a poor little town. Spare me. Spare me a pence, please. I was gonna say that too. I forgot during the when we were talking about the
like how much money we made.
How much money we made.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say.
Oh, that's right.
0 from YouTube. So this is purely
this is
reselling.
Yes.
Yes, it is low cost of living. So that is the giveaway.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, perfect. You did what for the 3 days of Christmas? Oh, you cleaned things up, and then you just decided to junk it right back up? That's what it sounds like, Bama. Oh, you missed the cue. So the cue was like a walking stick.
Oh, yeah.
Some sort of vintage walking stick combo piece.
It was hand carved.
That was like hand carved, and it has elephants on it. Yeah. And we paid $5 at a garage sale, and it sold for $150 plus shipping.
Pretty cool.
But this is the print, like these elephants on it, and then you would unscrew this part,
the handle,
and then the top of the cue would come out, and then you would screw this off, and then you just attach it to the cue here.
Yeah.
So you have a walking stick / pull cue.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And it took a while to sell for 6 months, but it was definitely by far our coolest sale that we had. Yeah. And hope the person that gets it loves it because it's pretty damn awesome. And don't send it back, please.
Can we please quit with the returns?
Yes.
That'd be great.
Honestly, though, I kind of was expecting more.
Ew, don't you?
I don't want to put that out there, but it is the truth. I was expecting more return issues just because it is that time of year. Just started thrifting and reselling clothes. Any advice for rookies?
Oh, for clothes?
Also, Skull, sorry, dude. You guys got to play this weekend, and I don't wish you any luck. That's a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No Vikings. That's bad.
But, so new advice for reselling clothes. Personally, I don't do clothes.
Yeah, I do the clothes. Take a lot of really good pictures. Make sure you have good lighting. You want to try to get your picture to be on point with the color of your item. So if like black is really hard to take pictures of, so I try to do multiple angles and just to kind of show
she'll lay out measurements with like a soft.
You know those it's clothing tape measure.
But she'll lay that out on top of the clothes so that everybody sees it.
Shoulder to hem, and then the sleeve length, and then for pants, I do like the waist measurement, the inseam, and the rise. Because
that avoids a lot of the stuff on the back end where you have to pull items.
There's a lot of good reasons for doing measurements. Sometimes they'll ask questions for the length of things, and then other times, there was one situation where we sent an item that was supposed to be dry clean only. It was like wool or something. And they claimed that I must have shrunk it in the process of getting it to them, in between listing and them getting it. And I said, there's no way. Why don't you send it back? Because I have measurements in my pictures of what it is. So
and they never did.
They never sent it back. So it helps you prevent issues.
Yes. So like it covers all your bases on that side. I will say too, I would lean towards the men's side than the women's side, because for me the women's side tends to have more returns. They have more returns, yeah. Yeah. So, and I don't see as many issues. And I will also say a SKU system is going to be really huge because, believe it or not, clothes start looking the same very quickly.
That's true.
And so you might have, 4 Eddie Bauer, polo
Yeah.
shirts or something in your inventory, and then you go to pull one, you think you pulled the
Yeah.
right one, then you sent the wrong one, and now you're having to get that one back and then send another one, or maybe they just get upset and they canceled.
Yeah.
So what she'll do is
I put them in these zipper bags. I used to do the bags that seal, but now I do zippers just in case I have to take something out and check it. But like these really big zipper bags, and I'll put those little address labels that you print from it's from Avery. Those you put them in the printer. I just started a SKU system where it was like 00, 5 zeros, and then 1.
Yeah.
And then we've just been going on.
Yeah, so so when I go to pull items, it'll say bin CL6.
Close 6.
And then it'll say, 00516.
Yeah.
And then so I'm just gonna okay, I'm gonna go to CL6 and I'm gonna pull 516, bam. And then I'm not click clacking, I'm not.
You don't have to go to the pants bin. It's literally, you can put the clothes in any bin.
And then she's also got it in numerical order. So if I open up the bin and the first one is 509, I might be a
couple
more behind because 510 might have sold, 511 might have sold.
Right.
So I might not be that far from where I'm at. But if I open it up and it's the first one is 315, I'm well, let me go to the back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 520.
So it helps speed up time. It's more on the front end, but when I'm shipping, it's nice because I literally just put it in a poly mailer and send it out. Yeah. Unless it's a very expensive item, and then I'll put it in a box. But what's another?
Yeah, I've seen people do that with that, but we just use the additional. So they'll take a picture of the inventory number and the listing.
Yeah.
You have an option when you have a store.
Right.
If you don't have a store, I think that's a good way to do it. I've seen people also put it in their titles.
Right, I've seen that.
And that's a way for them to pull the item. If you don't have a store, which if you're starting, I get it.
Right.
You're trying to reduce costs. But we have another tab where whenever we go to sell an item or pull an item, it'll basically custom SKU is what it comes up. So I just listed the Skylander lot, and I know I'm going to put it into bin 4, so I just put it in that. And so when I'm pulling it up,
show them.
It shows custom label 4 for that Skylander lot that I just pulled up. So we know where to find it whenever we're digging and searching and hunting.
And definitely disclose any flaws. We try to be overly descriptive with what we're selling, so they have low expectations and then they appreciate what they end up getting. So.
Yeah, I think the poly bag is almost revolutionary to some degree.
Man, I love even our books I put in the bubble polys, and it's nice.
I don't know. I kind of like Washington this week. I'm not gonna lie. I think Washington wins.
The Commanders?
Yeah.
Against who? Vikings?
They're playing the Rams.
The Rams. I don't know anything about the structures of the teams. Yeah. We figured that out yesterday. I'm why are there different
conferences?
What
different divisions.
Mean? Yes.
And
thought they were all NFL.
I do like the way the weekend is set up, where the first game is the Packers, and so if the Packers win, then I know we're playing the Packers. If they don't win, then we go to the next game. And if the Commanders win, then we play the Commanders. If they don't win, then it goes to the next game, and whoever wins that game is who we're playing.
You've lost me at when the Packers play. That's it. That's when I tuned you out.
Yeah.
I was in.
I get it. So
did you guys see that there was supposedly a spoiler of who's going to be in the?
Yeah, it came.
Who did it come to? Are they even in the?
No, it came
running?
from an Eagles profile.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
And then they picked the Eagles to win. Oh, imagine that.
Well, I'm just saying,
NFL
if they do,
spoiler.
I told you ahead of time.
No, I don't buy that crap.
And I'm also lowering your expectations so that you're, not disappointed when you don't make it.
So, at what price point do you switch from a poly to a box?
I probably say around high 30s. I'll put it in a box.
So that's on that end. The same also applies to DVDs or video games.
Right.
And for us, I think it's about $50.
Yeah.
We'll go up maybe 40. And then also in that time frame with media, that will also switch from Media Mail, and then
Yes.
we'll upgrade it to Ground Advantage, so that we have the $100 insurance, which, believe it or not, is becoming in handy lately because
I've been having.
post office
We'll
is a
have to
joke.
make a video soon on our USPS claims department.
Yeah.
We've been having to deal with them. So.
I mean, the good thing is, for the most part, they've been good, but can't be perfect, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think records, you can't do anything different. I think you do a good job with your records where you put them in a record box and then you put them in a poly as well.
Yeah, I probably overpack them, especially at the price point that we're selling them for. I put like a packing paper inside and I wrap it like a gift, kind of.
Yeah.
And then I put it in the box, and then that goes in the poly because I don't want them to get wet.
Yeah.
And everyone appreciates it.
Yeah, so. We have gotten nothing but positive reviews, but you are also probably spending an extra 30 to 50 cents per record. And when you're selling them for $9, it probably
arrives alive.
Not great. Yeah, I know, Bama, you sell a lot of clothes, so whenever you start doing your stuff and you're talking about it's clothes heavy, it's like, all right, I'm out. Because I can't even like source clothes. It doesn't do it for me.
You've gotten like some Levi's before.
Yeah,
and
I'll do
some you've
jeans.
Done jeans, men's jeans.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I'll do women's jeans too.
Yeah, you've gotten women's jeans. You've gotten Miss Me jeans.
But when I see resellers talking about clothes, it's like, all right, time for me to go.
But like sports things.
Yeah.
You don't pick them, but you encourage me to get them when I get them.
Yes. I'm here to encourage. You can click clack. I'm not click clack.
I like looking at clothes. I don't like listing clothes, but it has to happen. So I do have a better system as far as like, now that I'm caught up on my clothes, pretty much I have about 15 that I could list right now. And then I'd be done with my desk pile.
Since we're here and we're talking about snowstorms and not having anything else to say,
I think I have to be prepared and get the house ready and wash.
I think the house is ready. You made it ready yesterday.
It's so not ready.
How ready can you get a house?
Look, if the power goes out.
I mean, God forbid there's something on the floor if the power goes out.
Well, you can't wash anything when the power's out.
Okay, well, you start the laundry, then you go and you start listing.
Oh, yuck.
Oh, I can already sense that I'm going to have a comment about that after we shut down the show today.
We should have like an after the show airs. Oh, gosh. Anyways.
All right. You think you're ready to close us out?
There's so much chaos in the world right now, and I just rediscovered Psalm 91. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys because we need some encouragement in these times. You who dwell... Oh, this is also my favorite song at church, On Eagle's Wings. Mm-hmm. You who dwell in the shelter of the Lord. Remember that one? That can play at my funeral. Okay.
I'm not going to be there, so...
Okay, anyways. Psalm 91. You who dwell... You're a mess.
You just realized what I'm saying.
No, I knew what you were saying. I'm trying to hold my composure. You're driving me nuts. You who dwell in the shelter of the Most High, who abide in the shadow of the Almighty, say to the Lord, my refuge and fortress, my God in whom I trust. God will rescue you from the fowler's snare, from the destroying plague, will shelter you with pinions, spread wings that you may take refuge. God's faithfulness is a protecting shield. You shall not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that roams in darkness. Sorry, gotta catch my breath. Nor the plague that ravages at noon. Though 1,000 fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, near you it shall not come. You need simply watch. The punishment of the wicked you will see. You have the Lord for your refuge. You have made the Most High your stronghold. No evil shall befall you, no affliction come near your tent. For God commands the angels to guard you in all your ways. Mama's there.
Okay.
With their hands they shall support you, lest you strike your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the asp and the viper, trample the lion and the dragon. Whoever clings to me, I will deliver. Whoever knows my name, I will set on high. All who come upon me, I will answer. I will be with them in distress. I will deliver them and give them honor. With lengths of days, I will satisfy them and show them my saving power. So there you go.
I think I need to talk so that you can catch your breath. Things that happen. But that's good. Good stuff. Yes. And I think that is a good closeout. And I hope that somebody out there needed that today.
Yes. So and we hope you stay safe this weekend and enjoy the pretty snow if you get it.
Just don't go outside.
Stay off the roads.
Stay inside. Take care,
and
everybody.
We'll see you on Monday.
Have a good one.